Hi everybody, Simon here. This is part 2 to the Michael and Kung story. So again, if you're not into the stories and the long stories, turn the video off, go elsewhere. For those of you following and seen the part 1, let's carry on. Sorry I made you wait, but you wanted these stories, so it's your own fault. We left it that Michael and Kung had just had a meal, their first lunch, and Michael had dropped himself in it by trying to buy Kung and made her an offer to come back to his room, and she categorically refused and almost left. And after begging and spilling out his love for her, he sat in the restaurant totally in Kung's hands. They carry on chatting, they finish the food and they've got a drink, and Michael has said, "Are you working?" And Kung said, no, I'm not working. I've got a bit of money now. I'm looking at trying to get a business, so I'm doing a lot of research for that." And Michael's said, "What sort of business are you trying to go into?" And Kung said, "I'd really like to get a guest house, somewhere nice, and settle down." And he's settled down, and she said, "Yeah, I would like to settle down with someone, find a partner." And at that point she's like, thanks very much for the meal, I'm gonna go, got some stuff to do." And Michael's, "Okay, can we see each other again for another meal or go somewhere together?" And Kung said, "I'm a little bit busy tomorrow. The day after, how about we spend the day together? Maybe we'll go somewhere. What do you think?" And Michael's, "Fantastic." So they've arranged to meet on Beach Road, 11 o'clock in the morning. Not tomorrow, but the day after. And Kung's got up, Michael's got up. He's leant forward to give her a kiss on the cheek, and she's pulled back and shook his hand, said thank you, and walked off. That's another hook. And he's emotionally drained. He almost lost her by putting that silly offer in. But he's learned something today, that she can't be bought. She's not a bar girl, she's not one of those sort of girls. He offered her 2,000 baht and she's not interested, which gives him even more hope that he's right, that she is special. Anyway, this is lunchtime. He's gone off in a hurry to find his friends and tell them what's happened, and the fact that she almost killed him for offering money. And he's told his friends, and they're sort of, "That's unusual. We didn't expect that. And you're falling for her, and what's going on?" And anyway, they spent a couple of hours talking about it all. All Mike did was convince his friends that Michael is falling in love with this girl. He's gone off home. He's had some food, gone home. The whole next day, he's not gone to his friends. He's gone and sat in a cafe at Jomtien on the beach there, and he's spent the whole day looking out over the sea, dreaming of his new love that he's found on Beach Road in Pattaya. A girl that's 42 years old, that's been in the massage industry for over 20 years. That could mean anything. She could have had a massage shop, she could be just an oil massage girl, but she could have been a soapy massage girl. She could have been anything for 20 plus years. She's 42, he's 65. He's trying to add all the numbers together and it's just not working out. He can't work her out. Dress is nice, she doesn't work. She's got some money and she's trying to look at a business. I mean, a guest house, that's a lot of money to get a guest house business. And he's starting to think, well, maybe she's got a lot of money, maybe this is a rich Thai woman who's been very successful. He's then starting to worry that maybe she's too good for him. His mind's playing crazy games. So day goes, next day comes, 11 in the morning. He wanders off to Beach Road and Kung appears walking down the road looking stunning in a dress with a nice handbag, and comes along, walks up to him, smiles, and then kisses him on the cheek. And Michael's like, wow, where's that? He's thinking to himself, whoa, I didn't expect that. And Kung's turned around to him and said, what would you like to do today? I quite fancy going and looking around a few shops, but maybe not here in Pattaya. Maybe we could go up to Bangkok for the day. This is, a total shock to Michael. He thought he was gonna just go down the bar and sit with her all day and get food and drink and chat. So he's, yeah, fine, but he's not really dressed for it. He's got shorts on and sandals, and he says, well, I'm not really dressed for this. Appropriate for going up to Bangkok. Plus, it's a couple of hours to get there, and it's going to be a long day. And she's, well, I don't mind. Would you like to pop back to your condo? We can get a taxi, and you can change, and we can go from there. And he's like, okay. And so they walk across the road from Beach Road to one of the soys, and there's a couple of Bangkok taxis there that have dropped off. So Kung goes over to the taxis, has a chat with them, comes back, says this taxi will take us to your condo, wait while you change, and then take us to Bangkok. And Mike said, well, that's fantastic, okay. So he noticed that Kung's handbag, it's a big handbag, and he's got in the taxi with her, and he's on the way. He said, are we going to come back this evening from Bangkok, or would you rather stay over Bangkok and have a bit more shopping tomorrow? And Kung's turned around to him and smiled and said, well, just see how it goes, shall we? Maybe pop some overnight clothes in a bag when you get to your condo and see what happens. And Mike's like, oh my God, I've just hit the jackpot, I've won the lottery. Huh. Taxi up to his condo. He stays in the taxi and he's gone in. She's on the telephone talking to someone now. Gone in, got changed, grabbed some clothes for an overnight bag, dived in his safe, got some cash and a couple of cards, closed the safe, locked up the condo, out in the taxi, and they're off Bangkok. He wasn't expecting that, and his two friends, he hasn't told them, and they're going to be wondering where he's gone, what's happening. They've got up to Bangkok and they've dropped off in Pratunam market, which is a wholesale market, clothing wholesale market on Phetchaburi Road. So they've dropped off by there. And Kung said to him, there's a couple of shops I'd love to see in the mall behind the market. I'd like to get myself a couple of bits of clothes while we're here, that'd be nice. So Michael said, I really don't mind where we go in Bangkok or what we do. Let's go with what you want, it's fine. So she took him through. He'd been to Bangkok a few times, but he didn't know these markets and the shopping malls and things. She took him through to a shopping mall, and she bought a couple of nice elegant dresses. It didn't take too long either, she knew what she wanted. And then said, let's go and get some food, but we'll go to another shopping mall. So we'll jump in another little taxi, it's not far. Jumped in the taxi. Siam Shopping Centre, which is opposite the MBK Mulbacon Shopping Centre. So it's right in the centre of Bangkok. The Siam one is probably the nicest, it's the most exclusive, I I would say in the old days it was anyway. And they've gone in there, and there's food shops everywhere, restaurants, different floors. Anyway, they've gone in, and Kung said to him, what sort of food do you want? Do you want Thai? Do you want Western? Michael prefers Western food. He's not mad on Thai food, but he said, can we have some Western food? And they've gone into a steakhouse. Kung's fine with that, and she's ordered some Western food, and she's starting to open up a little bit to him. They've spent a few hours in each other's company now, and she starts telling him that she hasn't got any family. Tragedy struck her mum and dad, some sort of accident, and that she'd only got the brother, who was a couple of years older, that lived in Pattaya, and she was hoping to bring the brother into her future business. And at the moment he works in a clothing shop just as a salesman. He's asked her where she was born and where she's lived. She was born just south of Bangkok, but as she said, she'd been in Pattaya for 20 plus years. And he's asked her then, you say the massage industry, and she's cut him sort of pretty quick and said that she was a manager in massage shops, and that's how she left it. Fantastic. He's met a girl now that's not a bar girl, wasn't a bar girl. She was a manager, she's got money, she's looking for a business. Now Mike didn't want to come to Thailand and get a business, he wanted to come and retire. But here he's facing now a beautiful Thai woman, 42 years old, 13 years younger than him, who's looking at getting into a business. It's not what he was looking for. But he's besotted. He's absolutely fallen for Kung. Anyway, so they've had some food, and they've had a wander around, do some shopping, and then Kung said to Mike, I think we should maybe find a hotel for the evening and we can get changed, and later on we'll go out for a meal. What do you think? And he's, yeah, fantastic. And he said, well, where should we get a hotel? I mean, he knows the areas, but he daren't say something like, let's go to Nana Plaza or Cowboy. And Kung said, do you like Chinese food? And Mike, yeah, I love Chinese food. He said, let's get a hotel in Chinatown, in Yawarad, section of Bangkok. And she said, we'll get a taxi, we'll go up to the main road, and there's a couple of hotels along there, we can probably find one of those. So, yeah, he's pulling them along on a lead. He's being led from place to place. They've jumped in the cab. 15 minutes up the road, they're in Chinatown. And she's picked the Chinatown Hotel, which is about a 3-star, 4-star, nothing special. They've got out the cab, and they've gone in there, and this is the point. Michael is behind Kung, walking up to the desk, and he doesn't know whether to take the lead or let Kung take the lead. Is this going to be 2 rooms? Is this going to be 1 room? He hasn't got the fog. He daren't ask. In the restaurant, remember, he offered her 2,000 baht for the night, and she almost walked. He doesn't know what to do. He's petrified. He's scared of making the wrong mistake. Totally hooked and in her hands. So they've gone up to the desk. What do you think? Well, actually, I'm going to leave it there. And that's part 2 over. Yep, this is a multi-part. I'm sorry. It's a tease. Catch you next time. Bye for now.